And we have been listening to the U.S. President Donald Trump. As expected, Donald Trump is imposing tariffs on steel and aluminum entering the United States. The final numbers will be 25% on foreign steel that enters the U.S., 10% on aluminum. But to quote Donald Trump, he's holding off on Canada and Mexico pending NAFTA renegotiation talks. With that, let's bring in the CBC's Paul Hunter, who's been watching alongside us. He's in Washington right now. So, Paul, the exemption people have been talking about for Canada, but a qualified exemption.
Yeah, you always want to say, what is the world supposed to make of this? A few days ago, it was 10 and 25% tariffs across the board on aluminum and steel worldwide because national security, economic security equals national security. Now, this agreement indeed exempts Canada and Mexico, at least for now. And that's no small exemption, right? Canada's a mega exporter of this stuff to the U.S. And, Trump is hinting he could extend other exemptions to other countries as he sees fit. Or raise tariffs or lower them or ultimately, indeed, impose them on Canada after all and Mexico if, and this is the big caveat on all of it, if NAFTA talks don't end up the way he wants them to. In other words, he's carrying a big stick and won't be afraid to use it. So, short answer, breathing room for Canada, but who knows, right? Meanwhile, for China and the European Union, here we are. The EU has already said it would look at tariffs on U.S. goods, thus the fears of a tit-for-tat trade war. And the challenges that come with that for the world's economy. If they do it, what will Trump do next? Meanwhile, this is complicated. Meanwhile, you've got Republican lawmakers freaking out and Trump's economic advisor quitting over it, and yet Trump did it anyway. Keep in mind, this is what he got elected on. He made no secret of this kind of stuff during the campaign, especially in places like Pennsylvania and Michigan. Places that ultimately nudged him past Clinton on election night. He restated it in his inaugural address. It may well be that a lot of people thought he might not actually follow through, but he did. Meanwhile, NAFTA talks are kind of bogged down, so while it's a respite for Canada, Trump still has that stick, and as he's saying here today, he won't be afraid to use it.
Paul, thank you for that. Our Paul Hunter in Washington.